Tonight's story begins with a secret so disturbing that even seasoned investigators could barely speak when they first heard it. A woman who thought she had finally found love, a man who lived his entire life behind a lie, and a night that exposed everything in the most shocking way imaginable. She said she felt something warm on the bed. She turned, and the moment she realized what had fallen beside her, her entire body froze. It was the kind of moment that makes your heart stop, the kind of truth that shatters a person's mind in an instant, and hours later he would be lying on the floor, lifeless. The police would walk into a scene that still haunts them today. Nothing about this case is normal. Nothing about this night makes sense. But it all started with one question that will leave you staring at your screen. Wait, what just happened? Before we begin, make sure you subscribe if you love stories that leave your heart racing and your mind spinning long after the video ends. And drop a comment telling me where you're watching from. It helps the channel reach more people and keeps true crime alive here. This is the case of the night identity broke, trust snapped, and a life was taken in a way no one saw coming. To understand how this night turned into something so tragic, you have to go back to where it all began. Her name was Maya. She was 26, soft-spoken, warm-hearted, the kind of woman who always gave people the benefit of the doubt, even when it hurt her. She had spent most of her life being disappointed by men who promised forever and delivered nothing but pain. So when she met the man who called himself Jordan, she let herself hope again. He was charming. He knew exactly what to say. He made her feel seen in a world that had ignored her for too long. He texted her every morning. He listened when she talked about her past. He held her hand like she was fragile glass. And for the first time in years, she allowed someone close enough to touch the walls she had built around her heart. But Jordan had a secret, one he hid behind carefully chosen words and carefully crafted stories. He was terrified that if the truth came out, the world would turn its back on him. So he stayed quiet. He kept everything locked away. And Maya, desperate to believe that good people still existed, never questioned anything. Their relationship moved quickly, too quickly. Friends warned her that something felt off. His pictures always looked slightly different. His voice never matched the image he painted of himself. His explanations for why he never wanted bright lights in the room were strange. But he always had a soft reason ready, and she always accepted it, because she wanted love more than she wanted answers. The night everything fell apart was supposed to be their first night truly together. Maya said she felt nervous but excited. She had waited months for this moment. She trusted him. She believed she was finally safe. But from the moment they stepped into the room, he seemed tense. His breathing was uneven. His hands were shaking. He kept turning away from her as if he was hiding something. She noticed it, but she told herself it was just anxiety. People get nervous. Love requires patience. She did not know she was standing inches away from a truth that was about to destroy her entire understanding of reality. When the lights went off, she felt him pull her close. She said his touch felt different, almost guarded, like he was trying too hard to make everything seem normal. But in the darkness, she pushed her doubts down. She wanted this to work. She wanted him to be the man he promised he was. Then came the moment that changed everything. A sudden shift, a strange feeling, something wet, something warm. And then the sound, a soft thud on the mattress between them. Maya reached out with trembling fingers. She touched it, and the world inside her chest collapsed. Her breath caught, her vision blurred. She whispered his name, but he said nothing. And in that silence, the truth screamed louder than anything she had ever heard. That was the moment the lie ended, and the nightmare began. Maya could not move. Her mind kept repeating the same question over and over until her body felt numb. What was she touching? What had fallen? What was happening? Her heart slammed against her ribs as if it wanted to run away from her own skin. Jordan whispered something she could barely hear. His voice cracked, trembling, soaked in fear. She asked him to turn on the light, but he begged her not to. His words came out in broken pieces. Please, do not look. Please, do not look. But it was too late. The lie had already taken shape in her hands. Something that should never come off a human body had fallen off. And in that moment, she felt her entire world tilt sideways. Maya stumbled out of the bed. Her breath turned into painful gasps. She tried to speak, but the words would not form. She kept backing up until her back hit the cold wall. And when her eyes finally adjusted to the faint glow from the street outside, she saw the outline of him on the bed, curled, shaking, hiding his face. Jordan kept apologizing, each word softer than the last. His voice was full of shame, fear, desperation. He said he never meant to hurt her. He said he was born different. He said he thought she would hate him if she knew. He said he just wanted to be loved like everyone else. But Maya felt betrayed in a way that went deeper than words. She felt stripped, humiliated, violated, confused, angry, and heartbreakingly sad all at once. Her mind could not process the truth fast enough. It felt like she had stepped into someone else's nightmare. She told him to stay away from her. She told him not to come any closer. But he tried to get up. He tried to explain. His voice shook as he begged her to listen, to understand, to see past the secret he kept. But Maya saw something else. She saw every lie he told, every moment he let her believe something that was never real, every conversation where he could have told the truth but chose silence. She felt trapped, confused, terrified. It was as if the man she trusted had turned into a stranger in front of her, a stranger she knew nothing about. She grabbed her clothes with shaking hands. She struggled to breathe. She said she needed air. She ran out of the room and into the night, her legs barely holding her up. People stared as she passed them, but she did not see anyone. She felt like she was fading, like the world around her was closing in. She sat on the sidewalk, hugging herself, shaking uncontrollably. Tears ran down her face. Not soft tears, the kind that come from betrayal so deep it splits something open inside you. And while she tried to steady her breath, Jordan remained inside the room, crying quietly, terrified that the secret he had spent his entire life hiding had just destroyed everything. But neither of them knew that what happened next would turn this painful night into something far darker, something no one could undo, something that would end in death. Maya sat outside for almost an hour, shaking so hard her teeth tapped. Her mind kept replaying the moment on a loop, the sound, the feeling, the truth. She wanted to scream, but her voice was trapped somewhere deep in her chest. She felt like her heart had been ripped open with bare hands. She tried to calm down, but her thoughts came like waves, heavy and violent. How could he hide this? How could he touch her, kiss her, talk about a future with her, while keeping a truth that huge locked away? It was not just a lie. It felt like her entire reality had cracked. People walked past her, but no one stopped. She looked like a woman trying to hold herself together with shaking fingers. She kept whispering to herself, trying to make sense of everything. She said she felt tricked, played with, made a fool of. She said she felt dirty. She felt like she had been living in a story that was never hers. After a long time, she stood up. Her legs were weak. Her stomach hurt. Her hands were cold. But the emotion burning inside her had changed. The fear turned into anger. The humiliation twisted into something darker, something she had never felt before. She kept thinking about every time she trusted him, every time she defended him, every excuse she made for him, every moment she ignored the signs because she wanted love so badly. She felt stupid, used, broken. She knew she could not go home like this, not with her heart in pieces and her mind drowning in questions. She paced in circles on the sidewalk, back and forth, back and forth. Each step made her thoughts louder, sharper, meaner. Then her phone buzzed. It was Jordan, over and over. Calls, messages, voice notes, apologies, pleading, telling her he was sorry, telling her he never meant to scare her, telling her he hoped she was safe. Each notification made her chest tighten. She felt a deep ache in her stomach, the kind that makes breathing painful. She wanted to block him. She wanted to throw her phone away. She wanted to scream at him until her voice cracked. But most of all, she wanted answers, real answers, not whispers in the dark, not half-truths, not secrets. With her hands still shaking, she turned around and walked back to the building. Each step felt heavier than the last. Her stomach twisted. Her mind raced. She did not know what she would say when she saw him again. She only knew that she needed the truth, no matter how much it hurt. She climbed the stairs slowly. Her heart pounded louder with each step. When she reached the door, she paused. Her hand hovered over the handle. She could hear him crying quietly inside. She pushed the door open, and the moment she stepped inside, she saw something in Jordan's eyes that made her chest tighten, something that looked like fear mixed with relief. But neither of them knew that the next few minutes would turn this night into something far worse, something that would leave one of them on the floor, still and silent, while the other stood frozen, unable to believe what they had done. The room felt different when Maya walked back in. The air was thick, heavy, almost too warm to breathe. Jordan sat on the edge of the bed with his hands pressed against his face, trembling like a man waiting for a punishment he had feared his entire life. Maya stood near the door, her back pressed against it, as if holding herself upright was the only thing keeping her from collapsing. She could not look at him for long. Every second she did, her chest tightened in a way she had never felt before. He whispered her name, soft, broken, almost unrecognizable. She did not answer. Her voice was gone. Her throat felt like glass. She walked deeper into the room, each step slow, controlled, as if she was scared the floor might collapse under her. She finally asked him the question she had been carrying like a weight in her stomach. Why did you lie to me? Why did you let me fall in love with a version of you that did not exist? Jordan looked up at her with eyes full of shame. He said he never wanted to hurt her. He said he spent his whole life running from people who judged him. He said he thought he finally found someone who saw him for who he wanted to be, not what he was born as. He said he thought she would leave him if she knew the truth. Maya felt tears burning behind her eyes. She had cried outside, but this was different. This was anger fighting heartbreak, betrayal fighting sympathy, pain fighting confusion. Every emotion inside her pushed against the other until she could barely stand still. She told him he should have trusted her. She told him she deserved the truth from the beginning. She told him he had played with her life, her feelings, her body, her trust. For a moment her voice rose and then it cracked, breaking into a whisper that sounded like someone losing a part of themselves. Jordan reached out his hand slowly, as if approaching a frightened animal. But Maya flinched backward. Her chest tightened. She could not let him touch her. Not now. Not after everything. His hand dropped. His shoulders sank. And the room went silent. A painful silence that felt like it was crushing both of them. Maya stepped back and sat on a chair near the wall. Her hands covered her face. Her breathing shook in uneven pulls. She said she felt like she was grieving something she never truly had. A relationship that now felt fake, even though her love had been real. Jordan stood up. His steps were slow, cautious. He walked toward her, not to touch her, but to kneel down a few feet away. He said he was sorry again, over and over. His voice broke each time, cracking under the weight of his guilt. Maya lifted her head. Their eyes met. For a split second, something inside her softened, just slightly. But then a new thought entered her mind. A dark thought, one that made her heartbeat change. She realized she was alone in a room with a man she did not truly know. A man who had hidden everything from her. A man who had crossed the deepest line of trust she had. Her body tensed. Her breath changed. Something cold ran through her. And in that moment, both of them felt the room shift. Like something dangerous was settling in the air. Something neither of them could stop now. Because this was the moment when fear turned into instinct, and instinct turned into something deadly. The silence in the room felt alive. Maya could hear her own heartbeat pounding in her ears. Jordan stayed kneeling on the floor, afraid to move, afraid to breathe too loudly, afraid that one wrong word would break whatever fragile calm remained between them. Maya stared at him, and the longer she looked, the more her fear grew. She felt trapped in the room with someone she did not recognize. Someone who had built a world of lies around her and made her believe it was love. Her hands shook. Her breathing turned shallow. Her mind flashed with every moment he lied to her, every time he let her fall deeper into a story that was never real. Jordan whispered her name again, barely audible. He said he understood why she was scared. He said he would never hurt her. But the words only made her heart beat harder. It felt like the room was closing in around her. Maya stood up slowly. Her legs felt weak. Her thoughts raced too fast to control. She kept seeing that moment on the bed. The shock, the confusion, the humiliation, the betrayal. It felt like her body was reliving it over and over. Jordan reached out his hand again, trying to calm her. Maya stepped back with a sharp breath. Something inside her snapped. It was not anger. It was not hatred. It was raw survival. A voice inside her whispered that she was not safe, that she needed to protect herself. Jordan saw the change in her eyes. He froze. His own fear grew, filling the room like thick smoke. He called her name again, trembling. But Maya did not hear him anymore. Her mind was somewhere else, somewhere dark, somewhere filled with pain she could not contain. Her hands curled into fists. Her chest tightened. Her vision blurred. Something terrible was about to happen. Something that neither of them could take back. And in the next few minutes, this room would become the scene investigators would later describe as one of the most heartbreaking they had ever witnessed. Maya's breathing grew louder in the quiet room. Her chest rose and fell in sharp pulls, each breath heavier than the last. She felt something boiling inside her, a mix of fear, shame, confusion, and a deep rage she had never felt before. It scared her. It scared Jordan too. Jordan slowly stood up, his hands lifted as if approaching a wounded animal. His voice cracked as he begged her to talk to him. He said he never meant to hurt her. He said he was sorry. He said he just wanted to love someone without being judged. But Maya could not hear any of it the way he meant it. Every apology sounded like another lie. Every soft word felt like another knife twisting in the wound he created. Her mind replayed everything, each memory twisting into something painful. Every kiss, every smile, every moment she had given him her heart. She whispered something. It was so soft, Jordan almost missed it. She said she felt ruined. She said she felt like her life had been ripped in two. She said she did not know who he was. She said she did not know who she was anymore. Jordan took one small step toward her. Just one. Maya flinched as if the air between them burned her skin. Her hand moved without thinking. Instinct. Fear. A desperate need to protect herself from a man she no longer trusted. Jordan froze mid-step. His eyes widened. His breath caught. He realized he was losing control of the moment, losing control of her, losing the chance to explain the truth he had been running from his entire life. He reached out again, slowly, his fingers shaking. Maya backed up so quickly she hit the dresser behind her. A glass tipped over and shattered on the floor. The sound cut through the silence like a scream. Jordan stepped back, startled. Maya's eyes snapped toward him, wide, terrified, desperate. And in that split second, the fragile line between panic and danger broke. The energy in the room changed, shifted, darkened. This was the moment everything spiraled. The moment the fear inside her became a force that she could no longer control. And the next few seconds would decide who walked out of that room alive. The sound of the shattered glass still echoed in Maya's ears. It felt louder than it should have been, like the room itself was warning her that something terrible was coming. Her hands trembled. Her breath came in sharp, painful bursts. She felt like she was drowning in the middle of the room, unable to think clearly, unable to calm the chaos inside her. Jordan swallowed hard. His eyes darted from Maya to the broken glass and back to her face. He looked terrified. Not of her, but of losing the last chance to fix what he had destroyed. He kept whispering that he was sorry, that he never wanted this, that he never wanted to hurt her. But his words only made her chest tighten even more. Maya stepped backward, away from him, away from the memories, away from the lies. Her legs shook so badly she almost fell. She felt the dresser pressing into her back, but her body refused to move. She was stuck between fear and a rising rage that felt like fire under her skin. Jordan took one more step toward her, gently, carefully, as if his softness could calm the storm inside her. But Maya saw his movement, and something inside her snapped again. Her body reacted before her mind could catch up. She reached blindly behind her, her fingers landing on something solid on the dresser. She did not look at what it was. She did not think. She just grabbed it. Jordan's eyes widened when he saw what she was holding. His hands went up instantly. His voice rose in panic. He told her to put it down. He told her she was scared and confused and hurting, and he understood that. But she needed to breathe. She needed to stop. She needed to think. But Maya could not think, not anymore. Everything inside her screamed that she had been violated, lied to, tricked, used. Everything inside her told her she was in danger, even if he did not raise a hand against her. Her mind could not separate fear from reality. Her grip tightened around the object. Her hands shook violently. Tears blurred her vision. She felt like she was losing herself piece by piece to the pain he caused. Jordan took another step, slow, cautious, as if every inch mattered. Maya screamed for him to stop. Her voice cracked into something raw and broken, something Jordan had never heard from another human being. He froze, completely. For a moment the room went silent. No breathing, no movement. Only the pounding of two hearts that knew they were seconds away from disaster. This was the final moment before everything shattered for real, and the decision Maya made next would change the rest of her life forever. Maya's hands shook around the object she grabbed. Her knuckles turned white. Jordan watched her with wide, terrified eyes. He lifted his hands higher, his voice barely holding together as he begged her to listen. Maya could barely see him through her tears. Her mind felt hot, foggy, confused. She kept hearing her own voice in her head, saying she was betrayed. She was tricked. She was not safe. The weight of that thought pushed her breathing into short, harsh gasps. Jordan moved just a little, trying to calm her, but she jumped like she had been shocked. She screamed for him not to come closer. Her voice was raw, shaking, carrying every piece of fear she had been holding inside. Jordan stopped, completely. He stood there frozen, trembling, whispering her name. He looked like a man who knew he was one breath away from losing everything. Maya stepped to the side, gripping the object even tighter. Her heart pounded so hard she thought she might collapse. She did not want to hurt anyone. She did not want violence. She only wanted her mind to stop spinning, her chest to stop burning, her heart to stop breaking. But the fear inside her would not stop. It grew. It spread. It drowned out every thought she had left. Jordan stepped forward. One small step, one mistake, one moment he thought would help. Maya reacted instantly. Pure instinct, pure terror. A sound cut through the room. Sharp, sudden, final. Jordan stumbled backward, eyes wide, mouth open, hands reaching for something that was no longer there. Maya froze in place, staring, her entire body shaking. She could not believe what she just did. She could not breathe. She could not move. The room fell silent, and Jordan's body fell with it. The moment Jordan hit the floor, the world around Maya collapsed. Her breath caught in her chest as if someone had grabbed her lungs and squeezed. The object slipped from her hand and clattered beside her foot. She stared at him without blinking, unable to understand what she had done, unable to believe it was real. Jordan tried to speak. His voice came out in broken whispers. His hand lifted slowly, weakly, reaching in her direction, not in anger, not to blame her, but almost as if he was still trying to comfort her, even in his last moments. Maya stepped backward until her back hit the wall. Her entire body shook. Her teeth chattered. Her mind refused to process what her eyes were seeing. She whispered his name again and again, hoping he would suddenly sit up and tell her everything was fine, that she misunderstood, that this was a nightmare. But Jordan lay still. His breath slowed. His eyes softened. He blinked once, twice, like he was fighting to stay awake, fighting to stay alive long enough to say something important. He finally whispered a single sentence, a sentence that made Maya's knees give out. He said he forgave her. Her hands flew to her mouth as a scream tore from her throat. She slid down the wall, sobbing, shaking, unable to breathe. She crawled toward him, her hands hovering over him, scared to touch, terrified of what she would feel if she did. She kept begging him to stay awake, to hold on, to breathe. But his eyes began to close, slow and heavy, like he was drifting away from the world one heartbeat at a time. Maya pressed her forehead to the floor beside him. Her cries filled the room. Her heart felt like it was tearing itself apart. She wanted to take back everything. The fear, the reaction, the moment she let her pain become violence. But it was too late. Way too late. Jordan's hand slipped from hers. His chest rose one last time, then stopped. The room went silent. Completely silent. And Maya realized she had just crossed a line that would follow her for the rest of her life. Maya sat there trembling, staring at Jordan's still body. Her hands were soaked with tears. Her chest burned. Her legs felt like they had turned to stone. The room felt impossibly heavy. Every sound from outside seemed distant, unreal. She could not move. She could not think. She could barely breathe. Minutes passed, or maybe hours. She could not tell. Time had stopped. The truth of what had happened crashed over her like waves that never ended. She had acted on fear, on pain, on instinct. And now a life was gone. Because of one secret. Because of one lie. Her phone vibrated on the floor, breaking the silence. Notifications from friends, messages she could not read. Calls she could not answer. Everything felt meaningless. Everything felt wrong. Maya knew the police would come. She knew the world would judge. She knew she could never undo this. And the thought alone made her sob harder, shaking with a pain that cut deeper than any physical wound could. This was a night that started with hope, with desire, with trust, and ended in tragedy, in horror, in a truth no one could unsee. If you watch this far, comment below where you are watching from. I want to hear your thoughts about this case. Could you ever imagine living through something so shocking? Could you ever forgive someone or survive a secret like this? Make sure to subscribe for more stories that leave your heart racing and your mind spinning. True crime like this is not just entertainment. It is a reminder of how fragile trust can be, how fragile life can be, and how quickly everything can change in a single moment. Maya will never forget this night, and neither will you.